Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Game Changer. I'm Maryam Zia. In today's program, we will be talking about the important visit, the recently concluded visit of Turkiye's foreign minister to Pakistan, Mr. Hakan Fidan, along with his delegation visited Pakistan. And of course, this visit is significant because both the countries have developed the understanding of course, increasing the bilateral trade volume to over $5 billion. We will be talking about the significance of this deal when we talk about the economic ties between Pakistan and Turkey. And of course, when we talk about different bilateral areas of understanding and cooperation between Pakistan and Turkey, investment, defense, cooperation, energy and people-to-people contacts along with science and technology are some of the areas in which both countries are looking forward to enhancing their cooperation. In today's program, we will be talking about the significance of this visit as well as its impact on enhancing bilateral ties between both the countries. Of course, when we look at the geostrategic location of both Pakistan and Turkey, they both occupy a significant space in their of course, in the relevant regions. We'll be talking about the connectivity between both the countries and what could be done to enhance the connectivity so that the trade volume that we are talking about, the ambitious target of $5 billion could be achieved. We'll be talking about other areas of cooperation as we talk about Islamophobia that was discussed in this important visit as well, and what lies ahead for, of course, bilateral cooperation between both the countries. To discuss this and more, we are joined in the studios by former Ambassador Mr. Jauhar Saleem, who is President IRS. Welcome to the program. We are also joined by Mr. Salman Ahmad, who is Director South Asia Times. Welcome to the program. And we are joined online by Ms. Shazia, who is expert in international affairs. Welcome to the program. Ambassador Jauhar, let me start with you. Of course, when we talk about this significant visit, first, the basic question. What are your key takeaways from this visit and what were the targets or the aims, objectives of this visit?
Yeah, this is a very important relationship. Pakistan and Turkey have been steadfast friends and allies, and of course, fraternal countries. I have been posted to Turkey myself many years ago, so I know the depth and strength of this relationship. There's multifaceted cooperation between the two countries in the economic domain as well as in defense cooperation, people-to-people contact, educational cooperation, so many different areas. And then in the international fora as well, where Pakistan and Turkey have had an exemplary record of cooperation. So these visits take place regularly. They are very important because they provide an opportunity to review the relations, to review the ongoing cooperation, and to discuss ideas to further build upon the cooperation.
Right. We will be talking about the key takeaways and of course the economic and investment relations between both the countries. But since you have been posted to Turkey, so in your opinion, what have been some of the factors, historical factors that have shaped and in your opinion evolved Pakistan-Turkey ties over the years, especially after the current president came into power, because we know that both countries after he came into power and with his policy, foreign policy looking towards Asia and especially with enhancing ties with Pakistan. What do you make of all this?
Firstly, like Pakistan-Turkey relations, since the creation of Pakistan.
And even before creation of Pakistan.
And even before, because the Khilafat movement.
Yes.
And when I was there, I was always, the Turkish friends, they used to express their gratitude for what they would term as, of course, Pakistan was not even created then, but the Turks would associate the Khilafat movement and all that was done for Turkey.
And for the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, basically.
At the time.
At the time, of course, although we all know that Kemal Atatürk abolished the caliphate, but the Turks, they very much appreciated that. the money which was collected during the Khilafat movement and which really helped them with their military campaign to defend Turkey. That was very much appreciated. And since the creation of Pakistan, the relations between the two countries have gone from strength to strength. I think all presidents and prime ministers in Turkey, as well as in Pakistan, this has been one common thread. You know, there are testaments to it. Even in Islamabad, actually, where we have the IRS, even that road is called the Ataturk Avenue. You know, so I've been involved in so many visits from the Turkish side. You know, for instance, President Salman Demirel, when he visited Pakistan, he came to Islamabad and then Lahore, and you know, and it's been happening. You know, now when President Erdogan took over, he has a special affinity with Pakistan because of multiple reasons. So we saw subsequent to that there was a renewed emphasis on building relations with Pakistan, and President Erdogan is very keen on the economic side as well. I have seen him, like, you know, I was ambassador to Bosnia, and he would visit Bosnia every year at the head of a business delegation, a large business delegation. He has done that in Pakistan as well. I was in Turkey with the Prime Minister in 2022. I was working as Foreign Secretary then. And during that visit, again, it was a very comprehensive visit, and emphasis was again on building trade cooperation, investment cooperation.
Right.
Of course, strategic cooperation as well, which exists between the two countries. But President Erdogan, you know, I saw that special warmth and that special affinity and that special emphasis on his part, and which is very much reciprocated from the Pakistan side as well.
Right.
You know, like, so I think the leadership in the two countries presently, as has been the case in sort of, you know, like in previous years and decades, and is very keen to enhance the interaction, to have more and more bilateral visits.
Right, right. And talking about enhancing interaction, Mr. Salman, how do you assess the significance of enhancing trade volume to $5 billion? Because we have been hearing this for quite some time now. When we talk about free trade agreement was signed between both the countries back in 2022. And also, can you tell us about some of the sectors that have been identified for enhancing this trade volume?
So I'll take the line from Ambassador Saab that he very well put that Pakistan and Turkey had a very long strategic partnership since 47 and beyond that as well. And it is evident from the fact that Pakistan in the very initial stages when Pakistan started you know, joining some cooperation forums and regional connectivity forums, one of them was RCD. And from there Pakistan jumped to ECO, the Economic Cooperation Organization, where Turkey was also part, and then there were some other countries. And then now there is another Strategic Cooperation Council which is in place since I think 2009, where Pakistan and Turkey regularly visit each other's countries, and they have around concluded 50 or more MOUs and agreements through that Strategic Council cooperation. So right now the trade volume stands at $1 billion between Pakistan and Turkey.
And may I ask, what are the reasons? Because we know that the ties between both the countries go, of course, even before the creation of Pakistan, but somehow it has not been translated into the economic ties.
Probably there are multiple factors. I think that is more to do with the policies or political stability or instability in our country, the stability of the policies or the consistency of policies on both ends. But since Erdogan has came into power, and like Professor Saab rightly put, that he has a special warmth towards Pakistan, and he is a big fan of Iqbal as well. He often quote him in his speeches. So this shows that he has an urge or greed to look towards not only Asia, like you said, but also towards Pakistan. And that is why there is right now, like I said, a trade volume which stands at $1 billion, and they want to expand it towards $5 billion benchmark. It's quite ambitious for now, because given the economic conditions not only of Pakistan but all around the world, the inflation is there. It is yet to be seen that how will they translate all of this ambitious agreement into reality. But since both the countries have no such hostility towards each other. They've been always cordial towards each other. So this is something which can be achieved. There are three major areas where Pakistan can actually take some guidance and also some kind of investment from Turkish side. One of them is science and technology, because Turkish side is quite far ahead of Pakistan in this field of AI and emerging technologies. The second one is maritime. Turkish side has developed themselves very much in the maritime field, and Pakistan has a huge coastline which is still underdeveloped, and Pakistan take a lot of lessons from Turkish side. And the third is tourism. The Turkish has developed a lot in the tourism industry, and Pakistan yet to have developed a lot of things in the tourism industry. So these are the key areas apart from other areas where Pakistan can actually bring in Turkish experience and expand this trade volume towards 5 billion.
Right. So Shazia, how do you see the significance of enhancing the trade volume to over $5 billion between both the countries? And in your opinion, what have been the key trade barriers that have been existed so far when we talk about the economic ties between both the countries?
Major trade barriers between both the countries are the political instability in Pakistan, basically. We have ever-changing policies, economic policies. Our economic policies are ever-changing as the government is changing. So that's the one reason this is the major barrier we have. We need to set long-term, sustainable, achievable goals. And if we will not be able to do that, then these problems will remain as such. So and the problems are at our part. But hopefully, as the creation of SIFC, we are bypassing all the bureaucratic hurdles, and now we are looking forward towards the long-term sustainable goals. And any coming and going government primarily cannot affect that. So that's how we handle the hurdles.
Right. So, Ambassador Saab, how do you see and can you highlight some of the areas that have been, of course, highlighted for enhancing the trade volume between both the countries, and also how can both countries diversify their limited trade basket?
See, what Turkiye has accomplished over the last, I would say 15, 20 years is just phenomenal. I remember that when I was there, that was up to 2002. Since then, their foreign trade has expanded to more than 500% or even more. Part of the reason was that they signed this agreement whereby it's basically a free trade agreement that they had with the European Union. They were on the path to integration with the EU. That path was derailed subsequently, but that free trade agreement they have. So suddenly they got all that market, which is huge. So their emphasis changed as well. They're very strong in areas which are Pakistan's strength as well. For instance, in textile, leather products, which are like 70 or 80% of our trade. Turkey is very strong as well, and they export a lot to European Union in these particular areas. So I think where we could build more linkages with them is, first of all, in terms of seeing how we could sort of, build joint collaborations in the area of textiles in particular, where we have to, there's much more value to be added than what we are doing presently. Because of the window that they have to export to the European Union, they have such a huge market. So if we develop those linkages, then we would have the possibility of sort of, getting our products to the European Union through their marketing. We also have a GSP Plus facility, but that is in certain categories only.
Right.
I mean, Turkey has, they have an across-the-board free trade agreement with the European Union.
But for that, Ambassador Saab, some kind of reforms are also needed in Pakistan's system. So what would you suggest in that regard? And also, as Prime Minister Shehbaz also talked about facilitating Turkish industries and relocating them in Pakistan. What do you make of that?
Yeah, no, I think that is in the same direction. Of course, when you talk about reforms, the need for broad-based reforms, that is, we all know, that is there. That need is really very urgent. We have to put our house in order in many areas of our economy, and then of course we're trying to do that right now. We're trying to stabilize. As you stabilize, we're carrying a broad-based reform program under the supervision of IMF, and that would help us, generally speaking, because under that umbrella. But then you could specifically strengthen your industry in different segments, because we have to bring our industry to international standards, to world standards, which it is not there yet. Now, as far as relocation of industries is concerned, because you see, Turkey is moving upwards now. Like I mentioned, we have those sort of the same areas of strength: textiles, leather products, perhaps even like sports goods, and many other areas which overlap. But in that, Turkey has developed a certain level of expertise which we don't have yet. So some of those which are labor intensive, some of those segments which are labor intensive, they could be outsourced to Pakistan by Turkish businessmen. And I can tell you that there are multiple Turkish companies which are billion dollar companies. They are multinationals. Some of them are pretty big. They have like tens of billions of dollars worth of equity. So in Pakistan, we do not have even one company of that level. So I think in terms of outsourcing, what the Prime Minister has said would be a step in the right direction. If we could convince the Turkish businesses to outsource some of what they are producing,
right?
And then because you see, multinationals. How do multinationals work? Multinationals work in a way that they have their production operations in many different countries. And you get something produced in one country, and then you could ship it to another country to add certain value to it.
Right, and the key is, Ambassador Saab, to convince them to, of course, actually move their industrial units to Pakistan. So that
or outsource.
Of course.
Outsource production.
So that begs my next question, Mr. Salman. How can these Turkish companies be encouraged to move their investment portfolios to Pakistan? Because we keep on talking about attracting foreign direct investments as well.
So there is track one diplomacy which is obviously in front of us, and we are talking about it. Like Mr. Saab said, that they can outsource their industry towards Pakistan, or they can be encouraged for that. But the key to that, in my point of view, is public diplomacy. Through public diplomacy, you actually can get the confidence of the public or the industrialist or the investor inside Turkey to come to Pakistan and invest over here. I think that is one area where Pakistan has worked a lot, but still there is a lot of room to go into that direction. And our Foreign Office can actually play a very significant role in enhancing that public diplomacy domain towards Turkiye. Not only through exchanging programs with the industrialists, but also establishing the exchange programs for the students as well, who can actually go to Turkiye, can get their they can enhance their capacity of working in different fields, like we talked about, from Turkey, and then come back to Pakistan and serve over here as well. So this is one option and one field where Pakistan need to work aggressively. That is the field of public diplomacy.
Right. And what role, in your opinion, does private sector play in all this?
Private sector, I think, like myself has said that not one company in Pakistan is of that stature or level which can actually compete with any of the Turkish company or any of the Turkish businessmen on the international fora. So I think the private companies or the private entities may have a chance to interact with the Turkish industrialists and the Turkish state as well, and then they can bring in some kind of ideas which can be established over here, and the foreign direct investment through Turkey can come over here.
Right.
So that is one part where they can play a role.
Right. And Shazia, when we talk about enhancing trade volume and the existing difficulties, maybe one of the difficulties or the bottleneck is the connectivity, lack of connectivity between both the countries. So what do you think of the impact of Islamabad-Tehran-Istanbul road corridor project in all this?
Of course, it has a huge impact on the Islamabad, Tehran and Istanbul corridor, depending upon that we are on a right track, that there is no doubt about that diplomatically, but we again need to have long-term sustainable goals to achieve them, and we need stability, we need peace in the region. So connectivity can only be possible if we have you have irritant under control. So Pakistan specifically living in a situation where we have a hostile neighbor at one side and problematic Afghanistan at other side, and we are talking about attracting the investment and investors. So in both the cases, investment and investor, they need security, they need peace, they need long-term stable policies. And so far, this connectivity that you are talking about, it also requires the long-term stability and peace. So as long as both the countries with the joint efforts can achieve that, I'm hopeful that if they will be able to achieve that, yes, we have a very
Can you tell us a bit more about the progress on this particular project, and also we know that Pakistan has previously encouraged Turkiye to join CPEC as well. So what are your expectations in regards to that as well?
I'm not aware of that, whether or not Turkey is going to join CPEC, but yes, we are right now very ambitious we are looking forward toward this Tehran, Istanbul, Islamabad corridor, and also this connectivity of global South and changing pivot of Turkey, Russia, and China. So these are little complex phenomena if we talk about the regional connectivity and specifically the trade. We need trade towards from the China. We need also from the Bangladesh to Azerbaijan to Central Asia. So we are working on different trade routes. We are working on opening this Gwadar port from Iran to Pakistan to stop the smuggling and having a free trade route towards Central Asia and Caucasus. So these are all ambitious plans, but again, I reiterate that these all plans need long-term policies, political stability, and peace and stability in the region. So,
of course, that is very important, but Ambassador Sab, when we talk about connectivity, that remains a key element for enhancing economic ties with any country, or we are to attract or to create a conducive environment for the investors to actually come and invest in the country. So can you elaborate a bit more on China-Pakistan economic corridor and its significance? Because we know that Pakistan can provide an easier, shortest route to Turkey as well for transportation of Chinese goods. So tell us about that, and also are there some investments planned for enhancing such transportation and communication corridors between both the countries?
Yeah, there has been a talk of course, of China's being accommodated within the CPEC framework in a, in whatever mechanism that is. And connectivity is what Pakistan has been sort of, like striving for many years now. China-Pakistan economic corridor is primarily focused on building connectivity. And connectivity is not just about transport infrastructure. These could be energy corridors as well, and connectivity. We have to remember the China's BRI, when they envisioned more connectivity, it was not just land routes. This also included the sea routes as well. So I think we will be working on that, building these sort of land connectivity infrastructure. But at the same time, the shipping infrastructure that exists between Pakistan and Turkey, I think that is pretty good. We can build on that. But what needs to be done is what you have said earlier on, and that is that I think we need to remove the bottlenecks on our side. We need to open our companies to more international competition. We need to encourage them to build their expertise by joining hands with companies in other countries, which are multinationals. And Turkey does have a lot of multinationals. So I think that is the way forward, because in the global economy today, two-thirds of the global trade, 70% of the global trade is actually trade amongst the multinationals. So if you're not there, you're already out of the 70%. Then you're just competing for the rest of 30%, which is not good enough. So that is why, so long as that we don't have our own multinationals, it is very important that with brotherly countries, with countries we have great relations, who are so keen to build economic partnerships with us. We try to to connect our private sector with their private sector in a way where they could forge mutually beneficial partnerships.
Right.
And that, I think, could be the key for us, because see, what Turkey has done, as I had explained before, they were able to literally, if we go back 20 years, then they were probably able to multiply their exports by 7-8 times. This is something that we have not been able to replicate. Our exports have been stagnant for a long time now.
If I'm not wrong, their trade volume at the moment stands around at $250 billion, and Pakistan's part in that, around $1 billion, is just a drop in the sea. So, Mr. Salman, when we talk about these investment projects and energy projects are very important, can you tell us about some of the energy projects in which both countries can collaborate to meet the energy needs? And also, when we talk about the specific visit, were there some energy projects specifically discussed?
The energy sector was already under discussion between Pakistan and Turkiye since very long. Like I said, that there is a strategic cooperation council which is in place between Pakistan and Turkey. And through that council, we have already talked about, or made some inways or roadways towards this energy sector, which can actually play some role between Pakistan and Turkey. As far as the areas where Turkey can come and invest inside Pakistan, like I said in my earlier comment, which I stated earlier, that there are 3 significant areas. One of them is maritime, and there is a potential that within the maritime sector, Turkey can come in and can go into our sea and explore. There are results and reports and surveys which are in place, which tells us that there is a potential of exploration within our seabed. So Turkey can come over there and can get their hands on it, obviously in partnership with Pakistan. Then there is a mining sector, which is right now part of our SIFC thematic projects as well. So Pakistan can actually place some kind of projects or presentations towards the Turkish industrialists, which can come towards Pakistan and play a part into the mining sector of Pakistan. Then there is a huge potential of developing our fishery sector, which is right now in a nuanced stage inside Pakistan, and Turkey has developed a lot in that sector. So Pakistan can bring in not only their expertise but also their investment inside, because there is a huge potential inside Pakistan of developing that sector. And then of course there is textile and agriculture sector. Pakistan is right now on the downslope of that sector, and Pakistan want to enhance that sector once again. So Turkey can actually play a huge role in coming into the agriculture sector of Pakistan and developing some kind of capacity of Pakistan to enhance that sector as well. So these are the few areas where Turkey can actually come in. Energy sector, like I said.
And when we talk about these sectors, how effective has been the preferential trade agreement that was signed back in 2022 in enhancing the trade between both the countries? Or do you think that there are still areas or things that needs to be done or implemented?
Since 2022, Pakistan is kind of in a political instability, and there are still policy reforms which are going to take place through SIFC. Like Mr. said, and you also stated that through SIFC we are actually trying to bypass all those red tapeisms and bureaucratic hurdles which actually were playing a negative role or counterproductive role inside Pakistan. So probably now we will start seeing, because this visit and placing all these statements in the joint presser were kind of revisiting that 2022 agreement which took place between Pakistan and Turkey, and probably now we will see some kind of development in that sector.
Right. And Shazia, in your opinion, how important or significant is the geostrategic location of both the countries in enhancing their bilateral ties, because we know that both countries are having a crucial place in their respective regions.
Yes, of course, you are right. They both even formed in 2019 a high-level cooperation, defense and military cooperation in 2019. So we have military and defense ties dated long back. And the reason is Pakistan and Turkey. Turkey is on the border of global south and global north, ideological global south and north, and we are in a position where the word pivot is changing and shifting toward the strategical overhauling, the structural reforms, where at one side China, Russia and Turkey is making a triangle and changing the word from unipolar to multipolarity. And we have irritants and we have anti-subjects in the region. So you are right in saying that we both are situated in a location where we have to fight multiple fights. At one point we are fighting for our perspective to be heard to the global north, the broader west. The second point, we are fighting against terrorism. We are fighting against the irritants and the terrorists. And third, we have to fight economically. And the situation is hopeful. And by hopeful, I mean that as the formation of the alliances such as SCO, BRICS, we are in a very good position, and our strategic location is, of course, facilitating that. And as we have also applied for the BRICS, so this dynamics of global south and global north is going to shift the pivot of the world.
Right. So, Ambassador Jauhar, what do you make of course, the significance of both countries' participation in these multilateral fora when we talk about OIC, ECO, and other such organizations, and especially when we talk about the significance of both countries in Muslim world and raising voice against Islamophobia?
I think both Pakistan and Turkey, they're very important Muslim countries. They also have a special significance, geostrategic significance, that is, within their own regions and globally as well, and to a certain extent. Now, they've had an excellent record of cooperation in the international fora. Turkey has always supported Pakistan on our key issues, for instance, Jammu and Kashmir dispute, and many other issues where we needed their support. Simultaneously, Pakistan has supported Turkey always on the issues or disputes where they needed our support. For instance, Cyprus, TRNC, which is not recognized by most of the world, but Pakistan recognizes it, and we have totally supported their position on that. On Islamophobia, the two countries have been very vocal, and I think together in the past and presently as well, they have collaborated. Firstly, to promote awareness about Islamophobia. Secondly, to take certain steps. For instance, when the United Nations General Assembly, they agreed to mark a day, like as the day, anti-Islamophobia day. It was basically Pakistan which had been at the forefront of that, and Turkey had strongly supported that. There are very many other instances as well where the two countries have together fought for this common cause of not just Islamophobia, whether it's Palestine, for instance, whether it's another Muslim cause. These two countries have always been on the vanguard of that, not just vocally, but in terms of the actual contribution within the United Nations, within OIC, as you said, within other forums as well. And it's not just limited to that. For instance, when Pakistan was having this challenge of grey listing in FATF, Turkiye was one of those countries which had supported us to the maximum there. And similarly, whenever Turkiye has needed,
Right.
in whatever forum of the world, Pakistan has gone to any extent to support
Right,
them.
right. And lastly, Ambassador Saab, what do you see the future prospects for bilateral ties between both the countries, keeping in mind the ever-changing geopolitical dynamics?
You see, there are some relations between countries which are above and beyond that, so I think this is one of those relationships. Pakistan and Turkey, they have these eternal bonds of friendship and cordiality and fraternity, and they're based on so many different things, not only commonality of interest, not only commonality of ideals, commonality of aspirations, but also the commonality of heritage, commonality of faith, commonalities of culture, and the historical affinity that we've had. So I think based on that,
right,
and based on the keenness of the leadership in both the countries, I believe that this relationship is there not only to stay, but is there to strengthen further.
right. Thank you very much, Ambassador Jauhar Saleem, President IRS, for joining us in today's program. Thank you very much, Mr. Salman Ahmad, for joining us in today's program. Thank you very much, Ms. Shazia Chima, for joining us in today's program. Of course, as we conclude today's program, we know that there is historical and ever-evolving relationship between both Pakistan and Turkey, and it holds immense promise for the future as well. That's all from Game Changer tonight. Take care. Allah Hafiz.